Welcome. The Nintendo Switch. I think this is universally loved by pretty much everybody now, isn't it? And there's such a huge library of games, including quite a few which you can only get on the eShop, which is a slight problem because it doesn't come with much memory. And if you're a bit like me and you cheaped out, I went for a relatively low budget micro SD card, which wasn't as big an amount of storage as you perhaps could have gotten. You're going to need to upgrade it sooner or later. There's always sales on the eShop, there's so many games to explore, they're just hard to resist. Well, if you're like me, and you need to upgrade and put in a much larger capacity micro SD card, there's a nice, easy, simple way to do it. There are plenty of tutorials on YouTube, I've noticed, showing you how to do it using a micro SD card reader and a computer. But if you don't have a computer or SD card reader, and you don't want to buy one, and let's face it, if you've sort of cheaped out on the micro SD card, you're not going to go throwing money away on a computer or SD card reader just to do one thing once. I know I'm not going to. There is a way you can do it very easily, very simply, without ever having to touch a keyboard or mouse. It's a little bit slower, I will say, but it's nice and simple. So without further ado, let's go to the table, show you how. Really quick and easy. And here we are. So I've got the trusty Nintendo Switch. No, I still don't have an OLED. I use it mainly in dock mode and, well, it just works for me as it is. So without further ado, let's go in. And the first thing we're going to want to do, go into the settings tab. There we go. And we're going to want to go in and make sure that we've got our saved data all backed up. So if you go down to data management, I'm sorry about the wobbling bubble, I keep knocking the camera, I'm very clumsy. It should stop in a second. We're going to go down to Save Data Cloud. Click in there, all saved data, it's loading up in a second. And you can see there, it's backed up, apart from the top one, because it's an absolutely awful game and I deleted it. Now, you do have to have Nintendo Switch Online for this to work. It's only about 30 odd quid for the year. It might actually be less than that, because I've got the expansion pack with the N64 games, because I enjoy them. And you could just do it for 1 month if you just wanted it purely for this purpose, which is about 3 or 4 quid. So it's quite cheap. But do make sure all your saved data's backed up, otherwise you're not going to know where you are in your games. So I'm turning off the switch here because I'm going to take out the old SD card. We want to make sure that we don't corrupt any of the data. It's just good practice, quite frankly. And let's flip her over. And underneath the kickstand, I'm sure you all know this by now, but I may as well show you everything I'm doing properly. Let's open her up. Take out the old SD card. It's actually 256 gigabytes. It's not bad. But I managed to get this in the Black Friday sale. It's exactly the same, SanDisk Ultra, so I know it will work because it's exactly the same as my previous one. But it's 512 gigabytes and I got it for 28 quid off Amazon with free postage, which I've got to say I thought was a bit of a bargain. Right, now we just pop her back in exactly as we took her out. I know this might sound like I'm trying to teach you how to suck eggs, but I just figured may as well show you everything. It's only going to be a short video anyway. So we're all back in. Let's flip her back over and turn it back on. Right, so now we're getting it turned back on. Obviously it's got the new SD card in it, as you saw. It will focus in a second. In fact, it's done it while I was saying that. That's handy, isn't it? So back in as usual. All the icons and everything are exactly the same. Don't worry about that. We're going to go to settings and you want to scroll all the way down to where it says system. Click on that, and I think it's right at the bottom as well. Yes, it is, formatting options. And what we want to do is we want to format micro SD card. This is just to make it in the correct format. Sorry, I'm not very technical, but basically so the Switch can read it properly and save games and use it efficiently. So we'll just let it do that. It takes a mere moment to do, but it is an important step. If you're using a micro SD card that's been used in something else, this will wipe all the data. So just be aware, don't format a micro SD card with data on that you want to keep, because it will just delete it all. And as you can see here, it's just restarting the console for me. Should only take a couple of seconds. There we go. So really quick step, but very, very important. Right, and this is the main thing, of course, that I wanted to show you, how to get your games back on your system. So, oops, I've just pressed the wrong button. Apologies, I'm trying to multitask and I'm obviously the wrong gender for that. So you can either go through the eShop or the easiest way here, just show all your software, scroll to the bottom, re-download software. This will be any games that you've ever purchased through the eShop. It also, I believe, is any games that you've put a physical copy into your system of. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I'm 99% sure. Definitely all the digitals though. And if you see here on the right hand side, that little cloud button, all you've got to do is press it and it will start to download that game for you. So as you can see here, I'm just selecting a couple. I'm not going to download everything, but the vast majority. And if we switch back to the home screen, you'll see here, look, it's downloading all my games. We don't need to do anything at all for the save data. As you can see here, I'm going back into data management from settings and the save data cloud. And if you just go down to the settings, you'll see there where it says automatically backup data and automatically download saved data. So it'll automatically do it for you. You just got to leave it and wait now. Told you it was easy, didn't I? And there we go. And it's very quick to explain, or at least relatively. I've tried to make it as clear as I can and avoid my usual waffle. All I need to do now is leave this overnight. By the time the morning comes, all my games will have loaded onto it. All the saved data will have backed up onto it, so I'll be able to pick it up where I left off on all the games I'm playing, and it'll be like I never changed the card, apart from the obvious advantage of more storage, which is the whole purpose of doing it. I'm going to leave it plugged into the dock so it keeps some power on, because I'm guessing it will drain the battery and use quite a lot of power downloading all these games. As I said, I know it's going to be quicker if you do the computer method and you follow all the other YouTube tutorials on here, but this is just another way. It's a little bit simpler for the less technically minded, and it means you don't have to go and buy any equipment you might not have. I hope this was useful to somebody, and I shall see you very, very soon.